ஓகே, இது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு விஷயம். ஓகே, இங்க எத்தனை பேர் ஆசிரியர்கள்? How many of you are everybody, right? I want to start by saying this. I feel your pain. Okay, so for everybody else in the room, இப்போ வந்து கொஞ்சம் சிரிப்பெல்லாம் கேட்டு இன்னொரு 5 பேர் வந்துட்டு இருக்காங்க அங்கே இருந்து. Future of work. So what we'll do is, before I even go further, உங்க எல்லாரையும் வாட்ஸ்அப்லேருந்து கொஞ்ச நாள் விலகிறதுக்காக ஒரு எக்ஸசைஸ். ஓகே, அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது கூட ஒரு ஒருத்தர் வாட்ஸ்அப் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காரு. இதை பற்றி நான் சொல்லியே ஆகணும். There's a principle, I will not name this principle. Okay, in Chennai, a very, very famous school, he has 3 cell phones. Okay, whenever I think of technology, I think of this gentleman. My suspicion is that he is WhatsApping himself. Because அவர் முதல்ல இந்த ஃபோனை பார்ப்பாரு, அப்புறம் அடுத்த ஃபோனை பார்ப்பாரு, அதுக்கப்புறம் 3வது ஃபோன், திருப்பி முதல் ஃபோன் பார்ப்பாரு. ஒரு சீக்வன்ஸ் பண்ணி போகும். என்ன இந்த ஃபோனே போட்டு நோண்டி இருக்காரு. Once when I went for a meeting with him, I WhatsApped him from across the table saying, "Sir, I am here." Do you know what he did? He replied from one of the phones saying, "I know." In all our obsession with devices today, one of the biggest skills that is missing is human connectivity. So I'm going to start with that. Okay, everybody in this room, please rub your hands like this. Everybody, especially last row. Sir, na professor sir inge irundha enak kandu theriyudhu. Sari hands apart பண்ணுங்க. Hands apart. 1 2 3 சொல்லுவேன். 3 சொல்லும்போது ஒரே ஒரு clap everybody. Okay, நான் 3 சொல்லணும். 1 2 சொல்லவே இல்லையே. Right? Other than Meka Venkatachalamthi, nobody else is following my Anand. Nobody else is following my instructions. Okay? By the way, I do this exercise with kindergarten kids, they wait. Serious statistic. இதை வேணும்னா நான் ரொம்ப சீரியஸா சொல்றேன். As per the World Economic Forum report, released in 2030 that we discussed in the quarterly review, one of the big problems is that we've stopped listening to instructions. It's true, we have stopped listening to instructions. And in kindergarten, sir, I love your hat, by the way. Okay? I'll take it from you later. Sorry, no. Everybody wants everything. At kindergarten, 3 and 4, I work with children, right? So I am a professor at college where I am teaching undergraduates. Now you know why my hairstyle is like this. But the work I do through both the companies I run is with children. I run one company where we work from kindergarten to class 5. It's the happiest company in the world, right? The other company, which is slightly less happy, is from 6th standard onwards to 12th standard, where we do project-based learning at school level itself. Right? Why do we wait until they get to college? Where is Hari? Oh, you're there. Okay. Saying project-based learning from school itself. I have a tendency to look for people with my hairstyle wherever I go. Kindergarten kids, when I give them this exercise, they wait. 3rd standard, they wait. From the 5th, something happens. By the time they get to the 9th standard, they finish clapping when I've said 1 itself. What is happening here? We stop listening. Right? We're so much in a hurry to get to the solution that process nobody is paying attention. And process is where creativity makes a very big difference. Okay? உங்களுக்குலாம் வந்து இப்படி வச்சிருக்காங்கன்றதுக்காக நான் ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ண போறேன். பாட்டெல்லாம் தெரியும்ல? தெரியும். Thank you, sir. Okay, so if I'll show you a simple illustration. I'll play one line, you need to sing the second line back at me. உங்களுக்கு நிஜமாவே பாட்டு தெரியுமா நான் செக் பண்றேன்.
கண்ணே கலைமானி கண்ணே
நானே என்ன கண்டுட்டீங்கல்ல? ஓகேவா? கேட்கறது இல்ல? சரி, இப்போ ஒரு கண்ணே கலைமானி எந்த படம் சார்?
மூன்றாவது.
வெரி குட். குவிஸ் வந்து இதுக்கு முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம். ஓகே, வெரி குட். எல்லாருக்குமே இன்னைக்கு பிரைஸ் உண்டு. ஃப்ரீயா வெள்ளை டீ கிடைக்கும். ஓகே, சரி, இப்போ ஒரு பாட்டு கேட்குறேன். வெரி குட், யா எவ்ரிபடி நோஸ். ரோஜா எந்த படம் சார்? யார் சார் டைரக்டர்?
மணிரத்னம்.
ஹாப்பி பர்த்டே யார் சார் எழுதினாங்க? பத்தியா உங்களுக்கு இது என்னன்னா, ஹாப்பி பர்த்டே பார்த்து வந்து சின்ன குழந்தைல இருந்து எல்லாருமே we've been singing it, இல்லையா? Happy birthday was composed by 2 maths teachers. Okay, 2 maths teachers. In the turn of the century, 20th century ஆரம்பத்துல happy birthday வந்து 2 maths teachers வந்து they walked into a room full of 200 boys. 200 boys இருக்கிற கிளாஸ் ரூமோட நாய்ஸ் லெவல் வந்து பிரிட்ஜ் கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்ல டீ பிரேக்ல காரிடோர்ல இருக்கிற அதே நாய்ஸ் லெவல் தான். எல்லாரும் நெட்வொர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. சார் யூ விசிட்டிங் கார்டு, சார் யூ விசிட்டிங் கார்டு, சார் யூ விசிட்டிங் கார்டு, அந்த மாதிரி தான். அவங்கள வந்து பேசாம பாட வைக்கிறது, பாடத்துல கவனம் செலுத்துறதுக்காக குட் மார்னிங் டு யூ, குட் மார்னிங் டு யூ, குட் மார்னிங், குட் மார்னிங், நவ won't you sit down, you're all naughty boys, you're making so much noise. எனக்கு என்ன வார்த்தை அப்ப யூஸ் பண்ணாங்கன்னு தெரியாது. இந்த மாதிரி தான் ஏதாவது எடுத்துக்கோன்னு என்னோட கற்பனை. எதுக்கு சொல்றேன்னா, அந்த பாட்டு மாறி மாறி ஹாப்பி பர்த்டே மாறினதுங்கிறது ஒரு வேற விஷயம். பட் உலகத்திலேயே மோஸ்ட் வைரல் ஃபினாமினன் ஈவன் இன் மியூசிக் ஹஸ் பீன் கிரியேட்டட் பை டீச்சர்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. Hey, clap for yourself more, yeah. You are at the service of mankind, so it is very important when we are talking about skilling, all of this stuff. What we do to these children when they get into the workplaces, we can control somewhat. We cannot control what is coming in, which is why we need you. That is why I started with this example. சரி, இப்போ நான் அந்த ஸ்லைட் எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ண போறேன். அப்பதான் இல்லைன்னா எனக்கு PhD இருக்குன்னு நீங்களாம் நம்ப மாட்டீங்க. ஓகே, நீங்க நம்பிட்டீங்க. அங்க பின்னாடி இருக்கிறவங்க இன்னும் வந்து வாட்ஸ்அப் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஓகே, எஸ். ஸோ கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி. ஓகே, கிரியேட்டிவிட்டிங்கிறதுக்கு வந்து இப்போ we are talking about future of work, we are talking about AI, we are talking about all of these things. What does creativity even mean? Okay, கிரியேட்டிவிட்டிங்கிறது வந்து நிறைய விஷயத்துல வந்து இருக்கு. இப்போலாம் எப்படின்னா, ஃபேஸ்புக்கில் நான் இன்னைக்கு உப்மா பண்ணேன் அப்படின்னு போடுறதோட கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி இருக்கு. Some people are laughing suspiciously. I think they have made upma today. But what is creativity? How do we sculpt that in the classroom? Okay, சும்மா ப்ராஜெக்ட் கொடுக்கறதுனால வந்து கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி வந்துருக்கா? And creativity naka the school applicating naka, what are you doing for creativity in Kataka? Immediately the school principals will say, oh, we have arts class, we have drama, we have music class. What, sir? You only came and gave music lecture also. We're doing creativity. Arts matram creativity. Okay, for every lady in this room, okay, I'm addressing only to the ladies this thing. From the moment you get up till the moment you go back home, having to manage in this particular order the children, the home, the traffic, men, and then finally spouse. Okay, and all the uncertainties in between. Of course, you are practicing creativity on a day-to-day basis. Nobody came and gave it to you as skills. Let me teach you the future of skills in managing the kitchen. யாருமே வந்து கொடுக்கல. You've been managing one pot, one shot. அதெல்லாம் எல்லாருமே மேனேஜ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டோம். முதல்ல என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம்? சட்டிப்பாங்க. Creativity is part of everything. So if it's so easy and everybody is doing it, how come we get so uncreative the moment we hit the workplace? What has happened, right? So as a PhD, இப்போ நான் நமக்கு PhD இருக்குன்னு, My area became how do we study creativity at a construct and how can I then infuse it into pedagogy, right? But design thinking is again coming out of this idea that creativity can be used in application in some way. I can affect products, I can affect processes, I can affect policy in some way, and that is why I have design thinking, right? But that itself needs a backing theory, and the backing theory is what I was drawn to, right? Don't think naughty thoughts, but these numbers are very important. Okay? Now they are getting the joke. Okay. 69 is the total number of job profiles in the World Economic Forum report for 2030, which have been listed down, which don't exist yet. So 69 is total number of predictions of future jobs. We ourselves don't know what these things are. Okay, I saw one. Okay, I'll ask the Wipro and Virtusa people if they know what this is. Blockchain code disablement. I've never even heard of such a thing. Okay, blockchain is not code disablement. So apparently, then I actually went and wrote to one professor at UTSA. He explained it to me. Basically, what it is that so all the companies that are using blockchain, right? These are going to be those students trained to look at those companies with a separate lens and audit whether they have coding biases. You know what a coding bias is, right? So this is going to be hard to explain for those who are not in these particular fields. But a coding bias is when some applications, some programs automatically pre-select people based on some characteristics, right? So automatically that software is aimed only at white males. Automatically that particular application is only targeting people who are Tamil speaking. And another coding bias in Somali. So the companies that are doing large scale blockchain using, coding bias the audit profile is going to be one of the hottest total number of new profiles. 96 million teachers. 96 million teachers is new teachers is the requirement in 2030. So I have very good news for you. Chat GPT vandadunala namakala vela ellam poporadilla. 96 new million people are going to come. So that means our job is secure. Adukulla tenure kandipa koduthuronga. Okay? So your jobs just got tougher. It has not become redundant. Okay? 69 is the total number of education technology companies that were freshly incorporated in the last 6 months. Okay? And 96 is the total number of education technology in India. And the last 96, the total number of education technology companies that wound down in the last 6 months in India. So all I can say is, people are still trying to figure out solutions. They don't know, right? Because the children that we are teaching, right? When I call them children, even if they're in college, are actually ahead of us in terms of tech. They're ahead of us in terms of how they are shaping the world. Number pin thangitom. Okay? In the mari tharanathla innoru paattu. Okay, Cadre and Marcel. The reason I played it is Cadre and that album. In the album, Rhythm is one of the first albums where the number of devices, technology, and softwares used for the recording of the album became in excess of the number of human beings who worked on the album. I don't think you know the statistic. Okay, so anybody here has ever listened to Hindi film music or listens to Hindi music? You know the song? It's called Aapki Nazaron Ne Samjha. It's from a very, very old movie. And Unpad, right? And Malasana and Dharmendra. And this particular song is known because 154 people played for this song. Live, 3 live orchestras and the voice, right? This is 1969, 1970 time, or 1960s. You take rhythm, with AR is one of the first tracks. First time, the number of human beings became less than the number of softwares, applications, and tools used. These are important things to know. Okay? We think technology is only related to Wipro and Cognizant and but so it's there in everything, including the principal who's WhatsApping himself. Okay? That's the part. We are still trying to figure out this. The children are way ahead. I have students in my classroom who run Instagram and social media channels which are much bigger than mine. Right? One of them is using my voice, which she records secretly in class, mixes it with some music, and he has become more viral than my own voice. Okay. In the money graph potaka, Satyamana PhD okay. So music our example I use because I'm using music so much. I'm a musician, I'm using music so much. Okay. When you play music itself, the brain is at its most creative. What does that mean? It means that one sentence sir. Okay. Hari Balachandran and I went and had a cup of coffee. One sentence syntax. When I write that sentence, it is a sentence with medium complexity. Medium complexity is syntax la two or more objects in the sentence. Hari Balachandran is object, Anil is object, cup of coffee is third object. Okay? So medium complexity. In the sentence, when I speak it, about 30 neurotransmitters are getting activated in the brain. For 30 points later. This sentence if I sing it, 3,37,000 neurotransmitters are getting released in the brain. Okay? 30 to 3,30,000. Example. Rapid fire, yaar ready? Okay, kai thokono na கஷ்டமான கேள்வி கேட்பேன். கஷ்டமான கேள்விக்கு கரெக்டான பதில் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு சத்தியமா நீங்க பிரைஸ் இருக்கு. நான் ஃப்ரீ டீ பிரைஸ் இல்லை, நான் நிஜமான பிரைஸை கொடுத்துருவேன். ஓகே? Director of the film, which is the film? You know free price but basically you are all proving these points. Next question. கேள்வி நீங்க நினைக்கிறது இல்ல, அவ்வளோ ஜுஜுபிலான கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. இந்த பாட்டை பாடக்கூடிய ஹீரோயின் நடிச்ச நேஷனல் அவார்ட் வின்னிங் மலையாள படம் இது. ஆஹா சார், உங்களுக்கு பிரைஸ் இருக்கு சார். ஓகே, நீங்க அது கரெக்டா நான் क्वेश्चन சொல்றதுக்கு முன்னாடியே சொல்லிட்டீங்க, அதனால உங்களுக்கு பிரைஸ் இருக்கு. மை டியர் டீச்சர்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆடியன்ஸ் அண்ட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பீப்புள், okay, you have just oh, thank you. I will give it to the gentleman after this. அவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துடலாம்ப்பா. நான் உங்க சார்பாக அவர் போட்டுட்டு இருக்கிற தொப்பி அவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துடலாம். Okay, you just illustrated all of these things. The first thing I asked, it was simple. When I said complete the sentence, complete the now vari paadra adutha vari paadum solumbodhu, all that is getting activated right side la paakudhu hippocampus. The hippocampus is related to your memory. Okay, By the time I got to the third question, I was giving you a lot of complexity. I said you have to do association, you have to do collaboration, you have to take from this concept, apply it to that concept. இதை வந்து நான் ஃபங்க்ஷனா எழுதிருக்கலாம். f(x) is equal to this frequency of notes and போட்டுட்டு இந்த f(x) நீங்க g(x) மாத்தணும், டெலிபோர்டேஷன் ஃபங்க்ஷனை எழுதுங்கன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தீங்கன்னா சொல்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி தூங்கி போயிருப்பீங்க. இதை மியூசிக்கா கேட்கும்போது எல்லாருமே எவ்வளவு ஈஸியா புரியுது பாருங்க. அவ்வளவுதான், ஜுஜுபி விஷயம் இவ்வளவுதான். ஓகே, என்னை பொறுத்த வரையில மியூசிக் தான் வந்து அஸ்திவாரம். இதுல இருந்து வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் வந்து அவங்கவுங்க வேலையை வந்து காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் ஆக்கிறதுக்காக மிச்சதெல்லாம் இன்வென்ட் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்றது தான் என்னோட சதி தியரி. பட் திங்க் அபவுட் திஸ், பை டூயிங் திஸ் யூ ஹேவ் யூஸ்ட் 3.3 lakh neurotransmitters. I want to tell you something that has happened. 3.37. Right? It's 1:10,000 is the scale. So I'll tell you something that's interestingly happened. Every time I speak, you're all slouching in your seat and going like this, and tannala and alagana oru karvi appdi kaila varudhu. The moment I start playing and ask you something, you're sitting up in your seat and all of you are smiling. Not because you're enjoying, it's because your brain is actually being put to use. நீங்க இதெல்லாம் டெமான்ஸ்ட்ரேட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. இதனால என்ன நல்லா காலேஜ் டீச்சர் ஆறத விட்டு பாட்டு பாடலாமா அப்படின்னு கேக்குறீங்களா? I don't know. Maybe the answer is yes. Okay. So why I ask all of this is because, yeah, sure, I can send you the slides. I just sent you a request on LinkedIn. How did I do that when I was on stage? Future of work. Okay. No, bit of it. தெரியுமா? தெரியலன்னா shame on you. பட் இதை கம்போஸ் பண்ணது மேத்ஸ் டீச்சர்ஸ் இல்ல. இதை கம்போஸ் பண்ணது வந்து ஒரு 12 வயசு சிறுவன். அவன் பேர் வந்து மோட்சார்ட். Okay. When Mozart was just 12 years old in the year 1768, he composes this. Why I say this is important, okay, is he not only composed this rhyme, in after all nursery rhyme on the rhyme, he composed 32 variations on the rhyme in 45 minutes. Each variation is a prototype. Okay, I'll tell you what I mean by this. Variation 1. வேரியேஷனா கம்போஸ் பண்ணி 32 நான் ரேண்டமா ஒரு வேரியேஷன் வாசிக்கிறேன். I will play variation 6. இந்த மாதிரி 32 வேரியேஷன்ஸ் ஒரு 12 வயசு குழந்தை பண்ணிருக்கு. இந்த காலத்துல வந்து ஒரு பாட்டு ஒழுங்கா பாடிட்டாலே சூப்பர் சிங்கர்ல what a genius அப்படிம்பாங்க. இது நிஜமாவே ஜீனியஸ். I'll tell you why it's genius, and this is something that I use as a very, very important example for skill. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is composed in a set of frequencies such that you can combine it and play it with any song in the world. எந்த பாட்டு எடுத்தாலும் Twinkle, Twinkle ஓட சேர்த்து வாசிக்கணும். நான் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் காமிக்கிறேன்.
அப்படி போடு போடு.
இந்த பாட்டுக்கு இவ்வளவு சீரியஸா ஒரு ஆடியன்ஸ் பார்க்கல. இந்த பூனையும் பால் குடிக்குமான்ற மாதிரி ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிரஷன் வச்சுட்டு என்னமோ இந்த பாட்டு தெரியாத மாதிரி இல்லை. ஐயா பண்றீங்க எல்லாம். இந்த பாட்டு பாருங்க.
இந்த நட போதுமா எனக்கு
இந்த மாதிரி அந்த சீக்வன்ஸை எடுத்து எந்த பாட்டுல போட்டாலும் it will fit. How did this child come up with something like this? what was being activated other than this. Of course, this was very activated at a very high level for him. But what was being activated is this concept called creative intelligence. அதுக்கு தான் in this lecture on creative intelligence. We are all talking about skill. ஸ்கில்ங்கிறது ஆக்ஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒன்று வரணும். ஒரு பொட்டன்ஷியல் எனர்ஜி ஒன்று வரணும். ஒரு நாலேஜ் சோர்ஸ் ஒன்று வரணும். நாலேஜ் சோர்ஸ் இஸ் நாட் வாட் யூ ரீட் இன் த புக்ஸ். It is how you can apply these things. That is creativity in intelligence, creative intelligence, right? So I told you creativity is not only arts and those kinds of things. There's actually a model. Before I get to that, let me show you the model. This is the model. Okay? Creative intelligence is going to be the combination. This is what the pedagogy, NEP is talking about this now. Okay? NEP, SEP, everything is going to talk about this now. This particular formulation is going to become very important for all of you very quickly. And don't worry if you don't understand it, I have written a book about it which is going to get released in July 2024. I will give it to you at a discounted edition. Please sign up for the Bridge 2023 for the ICT edition of Creative Intelligence, Professor Anil Srinivasan. Thank you very much. ஏன்னா இது ஒன்னொன்னும் புரிய வேண்டிய விஷயங்கள். ஆர்டிஸ்டிக்ங்கிறது ஒரு ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி சொல்லிட்டேன், அது எல்லாருக்கும் புரிஞ்ச விஷயம். மியூசிக் கற்றுட்டா அதுலேருந்து எனக்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் my brain will function very differently. When I learn painting, it teaches me certain fine order skills, it teaches me aesthetics. When I learn sculpting or whatever drama பண்ணும்போது it makes me a little more. அதெல்லாம் these things we know from early childhood. Artistic creativity also deals with how our brain starts getting adapted to what I showed you with Mozart. How can the brain start coming up with original patterns, original ideas for ventures, the ability to look at problems and look at an opportunity through that problem, right? The ability to look at the world and say, what is the problem statement that I can define which will create the next entrepreneurial venture? All that is also coming out of artistic creativity. Why? Because artistic creativity deals with pattern recognition and pattern matching. I see patterns in the புரியறதுக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கும், but actually ரொம்ப சுலபமான விஷயம். An artist looks at that blank wall, automatically sees things that he can put on it. Correct? இளையராஜா சாருக்கு எங்கேருந்து இந்த பாட்டுகள்லாம் வருது? எப்படியா வருது இதெல்லாம்? எந்த பாட்டு? எங்கேருந்து வந்தது? சரி, நானும் இப்ப நீங்களும் நானும் சரி ரெகுலரா போறோம், ரோட்ல போறோம், 10 பேரை பார்த்து கத்துறோம். பாண்டியன் ஹோட்டல்ல இருந்து விஷால் டி மால் கிராஸ் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி 4 பேரை பார்த்து 4 கெட்ட வார்த்தை தான் வருது அப்படின்ற எக்ஸ்பிரஷன் தான் ரோட்லயே. அவருக்கு மட்டும் பாட்டு வருது, எங்கேருந்து வருது இல்லையா? So an artist is able to see a problem, see patterns where other people don't see where patterns exist, and is able to create something new for the world. Now all of you think about it, isn't that what an entrepreneur does? I rest my case. Okay. What did Azim Premji think differently that has created an empire today, which other people of his age went to the same class, ate the same breakfast, did not think about it, right? Artistic creativity is also that. It's how do I bring new ideas into this world? It is not just can I sing very well. Collaborative creativity. When we were all young, collaboration was discouraged. Even now it is discouraged. It's called cheating. Okay. என்ன மாதிரி நல்லா படிக்கிற பசங்களுக்குலாம் எப்படி தெரியுமா எக்ஸாம் எழுத வரும்? அதுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்பெஷலான ஒரு எங்க பாடி மூவ்மெண்ட்டே இப்படிதான். இப்படி எழுதி தான் பழக்கம் எங்களுக்கு. எக்ஸாம் ஷீட் அடிஷனல் ஷீட் இருக்கும், இப்படி உட்காருவோம். ஏன்னா அது சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க, உன் பின்னாடி இருக்கிறவங்க வந்து உன்னை பார்த்து காப்பி அடிச்சு மார்க் வாங்கக்கூடாது அப்படி. எப்பவுமே எனக்கு என் பின்னாடி இருக்கிறவன் என்னை விட 2 அடி உயரமா இருப்பான், 2 இது அகலமா தான் இருப்பான். அவன் வந்து நான் இப்படி உட்காந்தாலும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படி எப்படியும் எடுத்துருவான். But today, think about it. One of the biggest skills in the future work that is missing is nobody teaches us that we have to learn to work with people in teams, in groups, especially when those teams and groups will have people that we don't like. Okay? 99% of this room does not like the group of people that they are made to work with. You know what we all say in normal language? She is my colleague. She is also my friend. We never say she's my friend and therefore my colleague. Think about it. 99% of the time, most of the training, Anand deals with training freshers. The biggest problem, and he will definitely confirm this, is how to make them all just come together and start working, yeah? Because we are not taught this. We are taught to do this. We are never taught to collaborate. நான் நாளைக்கு ஒன்று எடுத்துன்னு வரேன், உனக்கு மாத்திரம் சொல்கிறேன், நீ சொல்லக்கூடாது, ப்ராமிஸ் பண்ணு, வேறு யாருக்கும் தெரியக்கூடாது. You and me, best friends, BFF. இதுதான் நமக்கு தெரியும். Suddenly the world is saying collaboration. What is this collaboration? Okay. Most of the people we are put in teams with, even, I'm sorry to say this, even families are collaborative units, and families are also people that we usually don't like very much. Just think about your extended family. அந்த பர்சனை ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. நான் சொல்றது என்னன்றது கண்டிப்பா புரிஞ்சிடும். But the world is going in that direction. So how do I teach this as a skill? And there is no point in waiting till they become freshers for me to teach this, unless that habit came when I was 11 or 12. I'm not going to learn how to do this, right? That is why it needs to be seeded early. Cognitive creativity. Cognitive creativity is how does creativity apply to decision making? Okay? How many of you here are heads of departments? How many of you are heads of your team units at the workplace? Either you are the chief executives or you are chief of some function. Right? Quite a few of you. How many of you are entrepreneurs where there are people reporting to you? Right? On a minute-to-minute basis, don't you experience people challenges? Just before an important deadline, somebody calling in to say, my mother-in-law is unwell, I cannot come. யார் உட்காந்து அந்த வேலையை செய்ய போறான்? நான் தான். Okay. How do we come up with creative solutions? நீங்க நினைச்சு பாருங்க, இந்தியால ஜுகாட்ன்ற வார்த்தை யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். ஓகே, சேர் உடஞ்சு போச்சா, விடுங்க சார், இதெல்லாம் என்ன, ஒரு பேப்பரை விட அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அதை ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணி வச்சு அந்த சேரை பேலன்ஸ் பண்ணிடுவோம். பிரசிடென்ட்டே உட்கார்ற சேருக்கு இந்த கதிதான். இது நான் எப்படி கண்டுபிடிச்சேன்னா, இது முக்கியமானது சொல்லிடுறேன். ஆகஸ்ட்ல நான் நிஜமாவே பிரசிடென்ட்டுக்கு முன்னாடி எனக்கு வாசிக்க வேண்டிய ஒரு தருணம் கிடைச்சது. ஐ பிளேட் ஃபார் த பிரசிடென்ட் ஆஃப் இந்தியா. ஓகே, ஆமா, இதுக்கெல்லாம் கை தட்டலாம். You are only my friend, okay? Whatever I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Definitely not for the last but 2 rows, no, they're not listening at all. They're gone off to WhatsApp. They're WhatsApping each other, sitting next to each other. இன்னைக்கு ஃபியூச்சர் ஆஃப் ஸ்கில்ஸ் என்னன்னு தெரியுமோ தெரியலையோ, நயன்தாரா நேற்றுக்கு ஸ்கின் கேர் பிராண்ட் இன்வென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கான்றது எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிய வந்துருப்பா. என்ன வேர்ல்ட்ல உட்காந்துருக்கோம் நம்ம. ஓகே, why I'm saying this thing is this creative decision making, what we call jugaad, that literally when the president came, the chair that kept for her, no, it was not balancing because the floor was uneven. நிஜமாவே என் கண்ணுக்கு முன்னாடி பிரசிடென்ட் உட்கார வேண்டிய சேர்லேயே அந்த பேப்பரை எடுத்து இந்த கார்ட்போர்டை கொஞ்சம் பிச்சு அதுக்கடுத்து நீட்டாக வச்சு அதை சுற்றி ரெட்டே போட்டாங்க. என்னமோ அது நிஜமாவே அந்த மாதிரி தான் 100 வருஷமா அங்கே இருந்த மாதிரி அப்படின்றது பார்க்கறதுக்கு. She herself would not have known. Creativity. This is cognitive creativity. Every day, every situation that requires decision making, when you're working in teams, when things go wrong, when your US client is waking you up in the middle of the night just to abuse you, and you cannot abuse him back, the one thing you want to say is, "Poya saagirakkunu sollanum pola irukku, ana solla mudiyala. Do not worry, sir. According to the memo that you have sent, I will have the solution to you by EOT." அப்படின்னா நம்ம சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம் 3 மணிக்கு காத்தால. எல்லாம் சம்பளம் வராது. Cognitive creativity. The earlier you get exposed to it, the better. And the last part is design and innovation. Since so many speakers today have spoken about it, I'm not going to spend time on that. Another very abused word, innovation. Innovation. Design thinking, all of this, corporate buzzwords, right? And I was recently the chair of a conference for CBSE. I started the conference by saying I will not use the following 6 words: creativity, collaboration, future of work, artificial intelligence, design thinking, empathy and inclusivity in the classroom. I got a standing ovation at the beginning of the day. People are so bugged with these words. What does it even mean? But anyway, that's when I won't spend time on it. All the design thinking stuff comes in the class. But this combination is the future of work. And this combination, we cannot wait till they become freshers, or they're in the second year of college, or they become future ready, whatever that means, because we don't even know what the future is yet. We are doing it in schools. Okay, now let me go back. So I'm going to show you something that's close to my heart. Okay, so I told you I run a project-based learning. One more song? Hey, yaro, vandaan soltappa. How many people know this song? Okay, the people who know this song, you're the only ones equipped to handle the next generation. Because this is Anirudh. That song. இது தெரியலனா you will not be able to have communication, dialogue, collaboration, creativity, inclusivity, empathy, future of work, artificial intelligence, design thinking with your children. You cannot do. தமிழ் சினிமா ஹீரோ மாதிரி அங்கே கடைசி ஹீரோவில் உட்காந்துருக்கிறது தான் வந்து ஃபுல்லாக முதல்லேருந்து கூட சேர்ந்து பாடினார். நீங்கள் யார் சார்? நீங்கள் அவர் தான். உங்களுக்கு ஸ்பெஷல் ப்ரைஸ் இருக்கு. You look like Jiva in one of those movies where he's sitting like this in the last row. அந்த ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபர் அது எந்த படம் அது? கோ. Before you talk future ready skills, please become future ready yourselves. Okay. So, this project-based learning, to use this as a format, we work with a very small number. Okay, 2,37,500 students I work with today for just project-based learning at a school level. Okay. Adula, the first project, the very first project, and I'm very glad that Hari and I had this conversation outside. We did on design thinking. Okay, don't laugh. But we had Arun Jain of Intellect, himself becoming the project leader, and he addressed 95,000 school students across the country. From Himachal Pradesh to Kanyakumari, literally we worked with the whole nation. And his simple brief for the children was an 8th standard, 9th standard children. He told them, what is, now that you are coming out of the pandemic, this we did in 2022, he said, coming out of the pandemic, what should your classroom look like? Make that a design thinking problem. How will you think? How will you design the classroom of the future? Okay. So we had all these lakhs of students participate and they use technology. I am going to show you the solutions that came from Madurai. Okay. 8th standard, 9th standard, including government school children in Madurai. This is from a government school in Madurai. Okay. Where children have said that the classroom should be circular, not rectangular, so that everybody is equal. நீங்கள் கொலாபரேஷன் கூட்டணின்னு சொல்லிட்டு டீச்சர் மாத்திரம் அங்கே வந்து மாதிரி நிற்கிறாங்க. நாங்கள்லாம் இங்கே வந்து எதுக்கு? Somebody, he made the point about if you want equality, start treating people equal. Children are saying this. By the way, this was not helped by parents and teachers. They did this on their own. And they used Lego very creatively. Okay? Everything, they said everything that we do should be displayed then and there. அப்படியே எடுத்து நீங்கள்லாம் ஷெல்ஃபில் வச்சிடாதீங்க. We want to see what we are doing so that we interact with each other and interact with what we do. They said the future of the classroom should be environmentally friendly. We should be cycling to work and our collective kinetic energy should power the electricity in the classroom. What an idea. Okay. Children don't think in terms of budgets. What will CFO say and all that? They just do ideas. They said If one of our classmates wants to perform a song, give him 3 minutes at the end of the period. Let him perform a song. It makes us all happy by the time we do. Shut up, it's not part of the portions. Get out. அப்படின்னு சொல்லாம encourage this. So நீங்கள்லாம் பாடணுமான்ற கேள்வி கேட்டீங்க, பாட வேண்டாம். But you can encourage passion in small ways. I know some of you do, right? Sometimes just playing music for 30 seconds. Brain becomes 3.3 lakh transmitters strong. Lovely way to learn thermodynamics, actually. Right? They also said, when we perform, we want to perform for our friends. We don't want to perform on stage and all that. அதெல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு வேண்டாம். எனக்கு என்னையா என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு நான் வந்து ஒரு வாசிக்கும் போது அவங்கெல்லாம் வந்து சிரிக்கிறாங்க, நாங்கள்லாம் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸாக வெளில போகிறோம், அது போதும். எங்களுக்கு பெரிய மேடை எல்லாம் கொடுக்காதுங்க. மேடையில் வந்து எங்களுக்கு மெடல் கொடுக்குறாங்க. மெயினாக மேடையில் கொடுக்குறதே வந்து பேரண்ட்ஸை சந்தோஷப்படுத்துறதுக்கு தான், எங்களை சந்தோஷப்படுத்துறதுக்கு இல்லை பற்றி பசங்க சொல்கிறாங்க. Okay, we should understand children. Okay, one of those children has written beautifully, Tamil எழுதிருக்காங்க. Please don't do school day. All the parents crowd in front of the stage with cell phones. We are not able to see either them or ourselves. This is obviously a slightly fancier school. This is from Chennai, and 4 girls. This has been designed by girls. Always, 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 the best solutions will come from the girls. Okay. Give the nation over to the girls, I think the nation will automatically prosper, actually, right? Simple ideas again. Okay, they used, so we gave them some tools, we gave them Scratch, not Python and all that. They're still 8th standard, 9th standard. They've used stuff and design stuff, they found their own tools, downloaded it and used it themselves. We did not even recommend them to use it. So what they've done is a visualization where they're saying, collaborative classroom, first can we sit collaboratively? Adena, same concept. சும்மா ரோஸ் அண்ட் காலம்ஸ் உட்காந்தாக்க எப்படி கொலாபரேஷன் வரும்? இதுதான் வரும் திருப்பி. Okay, if you notice this picture, the teacher's role is minimized and put to the back. Teacher is facilitator, not teacher. We know the technology, she just has to facilitate, make sure there's law and order. Okay, put the sick bed in the classroom. If I am sick, I don't have to miss school. I can recuperate in the classroom so that I don't miss lessons. Look at the ideas that are coming from children. I'm showing you examples on how, if you're saying design thinking, we are saying project-based learning, creative intelligence, if the habit is cultivated at a very early age, it changes the future. Okay. The reason that I'm showing you this is, I made a very simple promise. I said, for the children of India, whether they are from the smallest villages in southern Tamil Nadu or the richest cities in Bombay or Delhi, every child who's showing aptitude, every child who's showing a willingness to learn should have access to the best research departments, should have access to the best professors worldwide. எனக்கு 8th classலயே இந்த professor access கிடைச்சிருச்சுனா, I will get into a college where I should be getting into, and I will be getting in by the time I meet Anil's team. I am completely primed on what I want to do. I have been given creative intelligence, I have been given aptitude. Nobody needs to unlearn, relearn, and repackage. 150 of those organizational behavior consultants, whom I call OB consultants, we can tell them your job's done. You've already got this going, right? Why? So what has happened is, 47 universities in the world, including Harvard, including IIT Madras, including Stanford, including Oxford, are now working directly with children in Tamil Nadu. How are they working? Through project-based learning. They give a lecture, the children do projects. இதுலயும் ஒரு விஷயம் சொல்லிடுறேன். 37,334 is the total number of professors in just the United States who are Indian. Of the 37,334 professors, 18,900 are Tamilian. Let us get them back. I'm happy that they have improved America, but please can they improve Tamil Nadu too, right? So I will give you one example. I don't know, they have not given me a timer. That's a bad sign usually. Because I noticed that Philip and Anand and all were timed. They were good boys. Mine was 20 minutes. Really? I thought my schedule said 1 hour. so I'm okay. Okay. So I'll give you one anecdote. I was telling Hari this in the outside. We are doing a major public health project where the Dean of Public Health from Oxford University, one of the most important people in public health worldwide. Okay, she is doing the project directly with us now. She's joined my academic board also. When I first was introduced to her, the mail came from somebody which said Dr. P. Webster. And it was an Oxford University email ID. And for some reason, I'm usually very good at homework. I'll check out people on LinkedIn and all that before I meet them. Annika, I didn't have time. So I just went into that call blind. And that call was also blind. It was on Zoom and there was no video. And this lady spoke with a very, very beautiful British accent. Oh, it's a lovely, lovely opportunity to collaborate with you. And I said, "Nanu English and Sultan, Nanu Ibn." And then twice or thrice I said, but in Tamil Nadu. The third time she stopped me and said, excuse me, Appa, நான் தூத்துக்குடியில இருந்துப்பா. எனக்கு ஒரு நிமிஷம் இது வந்து இந்த வடிவேல் ஜோக் மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு. I said, are you serious? She said, yes, my name is Pramila, I am from Thuthukudi. I am now Dean of Public Health. So as long as children from Thuthukudi can be included in your project-based learning, I am on அப்படின்ட்டாங்க. Chair of Engineering Department, University of California, San Diego. திருச்சி பசங்க இருக்காங்களா? அப்போ நான் பண்றேன். Okay, like this we started mapping. I told you, no, 18,900 professors, we are bringing them back. What will happen if you bring them back? Tamil Nadu will then triumph, yeah, 1 trillion in a 10 trillion பண்ணலாம். Okay, the research habit, the creative intelligence habit, we don't have to keep gifting it for the rest of the world. We will create the Texas instruments that will then create Texas anew. That is what I am going to do. Okay, so this is what we do. I'm particularly proud of this project. Where is Srikanth? Okay. So, students of the school that your son is in, right? 11th graders, 4 11th graders, one of our project-based learning initiatives, did machine learning with IIT Bombay, and the 11th standard students. They used machine learning to crack a method by which children with autism, learning disability, can express emotion. Okay, that particular project was chosen by the United States Trade Agency. These 4th, 11th graders have now turned entrepreneurs because they decided to fund it. And CADR, which is the Center for Autism, Disability and Research in Trivandrum, has already started implementing it. It's a project that came out of Kruu. Right? Very proud of what 11th standard children, they're 15-year-olds. By the way, these are 4 11th standard students not doing computer science, they are in biology. Importantly. Okay, this is the possibility. So I decided I'll give you an abbreviation, Hari and team. Okay, if you can imagine, you can create, and if you can create, you can transform. So if I were to take this first 3 letters, everybody. So this is where we are. I don't know how I did on time, but I'm going to do last quiz question and I will stop. It's an important quiz question. Can continue? So before you say, we want to thank Dr. Anil Srinivasan for spending his precious time. What an interesting demonstration, combining music and giving us some complicated concepts, indeed things to think about. And like my colleague Srikanth to come and give him a token of our appreciation. Munadi, I want to do one thing. Please rub your hands. Hands apart. எல்லாருக்கும் இப்ப ஞாபகம் இருக்குல்ல? 1, 2, 3. Remember that a group that claps together stays together, and a group that stays together will change the world.
Is the afternoon session. EY hired and engages 3 autism students who are with autism and been employed by the organization about 6 months back, and they are performing wondrous things there in the organization. So, திங்கட்கிழமை லீவு, செவ்வாய்க்கிழமை கிளாஸு. எத்தனை பேர் போய் பாட போறீங்கன்னு தெரியல. அது பூபாலமா இல்லை நீலாம்பரியான்னு தெரியாது. பார்ப்போம். ஓகே. Okay, so thank you. I request Hari Balachander